Hey guys, happy Saturday. Here to give you guys a quick rune reading for the weekend. Just getting comfy. It is snowy and cold where I'm at. So I'm going to be using actually my leather set that I made for this reading. I'm going to pull 3 runes to illustrate the past, the present, and the potential future. Past energies will illustrate things that have been building up until now, factors, influences. The present rune will underscore what we're currently dealing with. Oh, past rune's ready already. And then the future rune will indicate how things will potentially unfold, provided no changes are made to our current path, or no changes are made on our current trajectory. That's the word I want to use. Okay. I just dropped a 4th one, so we'll include a 4th one in the reading. Okay. So the first rune, representing past energies that are influencing us right now, is Ansuz. Ansuz represents a divine connection with our higher self or with our ancestors. It represents knowledge and wisdom. It represents the skills of language and how that language can be used, either for our benefit, for our ability to influence others, or to influence us. So the positive side of this rune is that we can expect, or I guess since in the past, have been receiving different communications from either ancestors, spirit guides, or divine positive forces, however you want to look at it, and or even from the world around us, and it influences us in different ways. Because this rune represents Odin and ravens, one of the messages is that communication can often come from unsurprised or unexpected places where we don't really expect it to come from. So the raven is a trickster energy. So often we receive wisdom and downloads and clues about where we need to go from places that we don't think that it would come from, right? So keep your eyes open for that. Also beware that people can use the skill of language to influence you, whether that's for good or for bad. Second rune. The second rune, which represents our current situation, the current energies surrounding us, is Keno or Kenaz. This is fire. This is the torch. This represents a transformational, creative fire that is applied to our personality, to our spirit. If you're familiar with tarot, I often associate this rune actually with temperance, with art or alchemy. It represents 2 different things. On one hand, it represents a dissolution and a breaking up of parts or of something into its separate parts. So, on one hand, it could mean the breakdown of, say, relationships or society or how we thought things should be. On the other hand, that creative fire, when applied to our personality, when applied to when applied to our art or to our tasks, well, it's a creative fire. It tempers, it changes, it allows for new growth to occur. This rune often indicates someone with great ability, great artistic skill. So on the positive side, we could very well have been receiving downloads and influences and communications to point us on the direction that we need to go. And now is the time to use those influences, that information, for our benefit to create new things. This could also point to children. So it could be a highly fertile period for some of you, literally or figuratively. And then the future influence, provided that we continue along this trajectory, Xingwas. This is the seed. This is the new moon. This is the hero god Ing. So Ingwas represents a time when we need to allow things to gestate. So these two runes together could very well indicate some of you might be pregnant. Or you have the potential to become pregnant. Depends on what you come to a reading for, right? But it could be the beginning of and the gestation period for some new projects. Say some new art projects or new business ideas. Could be a multitude of things, but in less than a week we do have a new moon in Aquarius. I think it's really interesting, actually. The rune poem for Ingvaz talks about the hero god Ing going over the horizon to the east. And what it's talking about is actually the moon when it goes and conjuncts with the sun. That's what it's talking about. And when planets and the moon, when it does that, when it goes to be with the sun, we can't see it. We can't see them. And it is said, in many different mythologies around the world, it is said that when we can't see the planets because they're with the sun, they're in the underworld. That's what this is talking about. So why is that important right now? Well, we actually have an awful lot of planets that are currently with the sun that we cannot see. The only ones that we would be able to see are Mars and Uranus. Mars with the naked eye, Uranus with the powerful telescope. That is a really interesting reading. There's a few ways to look at this. The first is that for us, on our level, on the everyday level, the mundane level, it's a message for us to allow things to settle, to gestate, to come to their full power. You need to mull over and chew over different decisions before you enact them. You don't want to get into it like an analysis paralysis, but it is important to rest. Actually, both of these runes talk a little bit about the need to rest, to allow the energy to come up. But everything new that is powerful requires a period of gestation. That's one of the biggest things about this rune. On the astrological level, what's kind of cool is that because there's so many planets that are with the sun right now and are invisible to our eye, it's almost as if all of these planets are, or the energies associated with these planets are in the underworld right now. And they're all meeting up with the sun for like a council. They're going to meet with the king, you could say. And by the new moon, this new moon, by the way, will be in Aquarius, tropical Aquarius. It's going to kick off a lot of new things. That's one of the biggest key concepts of Ingvaz is newness, new things, new beginnings. Another important concept that's tied to this is the need for completion of the old. So anyway, back to astrology. On the astrological level, on the worldwide level, there's a lot going on that is hidden from us, right? Can't see it in the sky, it's hidden from us, right? That's the idea. But we have to trust that we're still gaining communication from our higher self. We have to trust that we've ignited our own inner fire, our own creative fire. And we have to trust that after a period of gestation, things will emerge anew. That's kind of beautiful. But yeah, my biggest thing to say would be to expect some small new things to start rolling out. Eventually. And the fourth rune, there was another one that fell out while I was pulling them. Fourth rune is Evaz. This is interesting. This is actually a really interesting one taken in conjunction with these other runes. This is the vertical axis. It's a rune and a concept that unites the mystical and the mundane. You could also compare it to the vertical axis of, like, say, the Kundalini, the spine, or the world column. This is a rune of initiation. This is a rune that tells you that the need for harmonization between inside and outside is necessary. It tells you to bring together light and dark. So, shadow work. Harmonizing inner and outer stuff. So, you know, if you need to clean your room, clean your room. The other message of Evaz is that within us we have the inner resources to get through tough times. And discipline is what ignites that inner fire. It's also number 13 if focus please. Doesn't want to focus. That's number 13 if you're curious. 13 is a number of a goddess. This is number 4. This is number 6. This is 22. 13. So the final message that ties this all together is that it's necessary for us to have some measure of self-discipline in these times, and to remember that that inner fire is always within you. No one can put it out, and only you are responsible and able to bring it out. Yeah, there you go. That is your rune reading for the weekend. Thank you so much. If you're looking for a personal reading, I do both rune and tarot readings. Email me, my email's down below. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Oh yes, also, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to come follow me on Gab. Peace.